It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
He meddled in things that should be built. He meddled in things. He meddled in things.
Where will we go next? This phantom from another time.
No one but the mother.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hello, my name is Amax, and I am feeling it. I'm just down like 2 beers in less than an hour.
Yes,
Go for
Alex has decided that in the name of today's topic,
Yeah.
he wanted to have a little drink or two.
Yeah.
Because today we are talking about leprechauns
Are
in
we
honor
recording?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're going.
Oh, gosh darn.
in honor of St. Patrick. Alex is literally falling apart. Like, this is not even a bit. He has literally drank 2 bottles of beer, and his microphone's falling apart.
And I didn't really eat today, too. So.
It's gonna it's gonna be a wild one, guys. But yes, happy St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is this week, so we decided to talk about leprechauns. Now, recently we talked about fairies.
Wait. What are we? What is this podcast called?
We're
Cryptid
Campfire.
Campfire.
Yeah. Did we not say that earlier?
We didn't. You're right. See, even intoxicated, you're still on top of the intro.
Yeah, you gotta think of the intro. Hi, everybody. My name is Alex Kaiju. Welcome to Cryptid Campfire. We're doing a special episode, i.e., I drank a little bit to celebrate St. Patty's Day. To my left is
Jasmine with.
and across from me is
Eli Watson.
And I think Jasmine said it earlier, but take it away, Jasmine.
Yeah, we're talking about leprechauns. And a few weeks ago, we talked about fairies.
Mhm.
And fairies, or actually, leprechauns are
Like
a type of fairy.
Yeah,
according to the internet.
it's like fairy is the big subgroup.
It's according to more than just the internet. So the ancient texts.
Okay.
Dating back to medieval times.
Yeah. So it comes from trustworthy sources.
Yes.
These are the same people who made the King James Bible. So.
Oh, don't
Okay.
you know? We can trust them fully. Every time the leprechaun speaks, it's in red text.
What? What are you talking about?
So.
Because the King James Bible, his text is in red.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, I get you. Okay. All right.
you see, the joke is...
So,
Continuing.
Irish folk legend. That's where the leprechauns come from.
Mm-hmm.
Many scholars believe that the origin of the word leprechaun is the Old Irish. Would you like to say this? Because you're better at the pronunciations than I am.
I'm not a.
Here,
Alright.
read it. It's the word at the top there.
Go on, read it, you bum. Say it.
Lou Chorpain?
Yeah.
That's how it.
Which means
A la chalupa?
Yeah.
it means small body.
And it's actually refers to 18th century water spirits.
Yes, this is true.
But yeah.
Yeah, medieval Irish manuscripts from the 12th to 15th centuries suggest that they were originally beings that lived underwater and were depicted as warriors with voracious appetites.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You look confused. or
No,
concerned.
I'm listening.
You're listening.
I'm listening.
So there is a book called The Element Encyclopedia of Magical Creatures. It's written by John and Caitlin Matthews.
Mhm.
They trace the leprechaun legends back to 8th century legends of water spirits, which Alex just mentioned.
Then
and-
they're nymphs.
Yeah, these
Nymphomaniacs.
these sprites eventually merged with a mischievous household fairy said to haunt cellars and drink heavily. So that's where we get
Well, that's
to crossbreed.
Okay. That's an amalgamation of a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
Well, the leprechauns apparently weren't originally green.
Nope.
They were red.
Yep.
All right, wait. So, let's take it down a notch. You're out
Says
there.
the drunk man.
You're out there. You're listening to Cryptid Campfire. We're talking about leprechauns. First thing that comes to your mind, like a 2 feet tall man in green outfit with a red beard.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms has a
keyboard.
pot of gold that's hidden. Follow the end of the rainbow. That's all a bunch of a bull honky.
What?
BS.
My childhood is a lie?
Yes, sir. Don't you know it?
Whoa. Whoa.
And next week we're talking about the Goat Man. see, we got a little bit of time fraction going on.
Alex. I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
We're gonna continue.
But yeah, so my point is that you think Leprechaun, you think Lucky Charms. But that goes beyond it because traditionally they don't wear green.
Right.
Back in the day, they actually would wear mostly red. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Red shoes, like a red crooked hat, and sometimes even like a leather apron.
And they actually dressed differently based on which region they were in. So I found a whole medieval text talking about what they wore in which parts of Ireland, and I decided not to write it down because there was a lot.
Yeah,
they're like on this part of the west coast of Ireland. I was like, okay. No.
On the south shore of the Ireland, you have the head.
It's like apparently they wear coats at one point.
Yeah, and apparently green is normally what in the fairy world. Green is like if you're a soldier, and if you're like a free agent, red is a good color to wear.
I'm a free agent.
Yeah, but you're wearing gray.
What is that? What does that mean?
Are you injured?
Where did you get that information? How can you trust your sources? They're making animal-human hybrids.
Did you know we're going to talk about Goatman next week?
Okay, wait. No, for real. Where'd you get that? So I can look it up.
I found it on a Wikipedia page.
Wikipedia.
Not even that. I found it on a website that said 10 totally true facts about leprechauns that you didn't know. I'll send you the link. And if you want to send us a link, you can email us at cryptidcampfirepodcast@gmail.com.
What's going on?
I don't know what's happening.
Do you have anything
about leprechauns?
Yeah.
Well, they were shoemakers in the fairy world.
They were? Or are they currently still?
They is or they be?
Because what it is...
They are shoemakers. Shoemaking is apparently a lucrative business in the fairy world, since each leprechaun is said to have his own pot of gold, which can be often found at the end of a rainbow. So the money that they earn, the money that they make, the money that they hide at the end of the rainbow is made from making shoes.
They're trust fund kids.
Feet.
Yeah.
But most creatures in the fairy world have a distinctive sound that's associated with them. And in the case of the leprechaun, it is the tapping of his tiny cobbler hammer driving nails into shoes that announces they are near. Because, they're just always walking around with their shoe and a hammer.
They're all
hammer time. But interesting fact that I found here. When you think of a leprechaun, you immediately go to male. You think of a male leprechaun.
Are there females?
Varying sources say different things.
Yes.
There is a source from Huffington Post, actually, that says female leprechauns were especially engrossed with luring away human men for secret adventures. But by 1825, the leprechaun population was limited to only males.
1825, you say.
However, an ancient history book called A History of Irish Fairies reveals that there are no evidence of there being female leprechauns ever. So... who really knows?
Yeah, I mean...
Then who was really luring those men away?
It was trolls and wakes.
Do you guys know about the first known tale of a leprechaun?
Are you talking about 18th century poet William Allingham?
I'm talking about the tale known as The Adventure of Fergus, Son of Letty.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
And so
that's a medieval tale.
Yeah, well, it starts with Fergus, son of Letty, king of Ulster.
Hey.
He goes to sleep on the beach. And when he wakes up, he's being pulled into the water by 3 leprechauns, and he captures 1 or 3.
Actually, oh, hello there. They're Leprechauns, which are the water sprites we talked about earlier.
Right. The word that Jasmine showed me.
And that means small bodies.
Right.
So they have big heads, small bodies. They're trying to drag this guy into the ocean.
But then he captures 1.
He's like, oh, bruv, what's going on here?
And he captures 1.
Or all of them.
Or all of them. I couldn't get a straight answer.
I mean...
And then they grant him 3 wishes for their freedom. And then they go away, and he I don't know what he's doing in this story, going to sleep on a beach as a king, but...
He wished for an ATV and a flat screen TV.
I don't think he knew what those were yet.
Back in the day, it was just rocks on sticks made to look like an ATV.
So wait, how did that story end?
he gets granted 3 wishes by these leprechauns.
And then they escape, right?
Well,
the
then
3 wishes.
it grants their freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing here is that humans are greedy.
Yes.
And they want to steal the gold, steal the whatever it is that these leprechauns
Hey,
have.
but these guys got pots full of gold.
Yeah.
And they're not
Okay,
sharing it with
okay,
anybody.
but listen.
We've
Okay.
been indoctored since children
So
to think that leprechauns sell us cereal and have pots of gold just hanging around, and if you grab them, they'll give us the gold. But really, I think they're vicious little shoemaker monsters that may or may not stab you.
What? Okay.
So
continue.
basically, the leprechauns always want to protect their gold from greedy humans that like look for it.
Yeah.
So when the humans do catch a leprechaun, the leprechauns will do anything to like try and get away and make sure that that doesn't happen. So that's where the wishes come from. Like they have the power to grant these wishes.
I wish for all your gold.
But the thing is,
I
they're
wish
also
for a million wishes.
the thing is they're also tricksters. So like. You can wish for something and they'll take it real literal, or, you know, you'll get yourself in trouble. And I read a story. I didn't write it down. I'm just pulling this from my memory. Like, there was a story of a guy who caught a leprechaun, and the leprechaun took him to where his gold was, and the guy, like, tied a ribbon around something to signify...
It was a tree.
Yeah.
The leprechaun said, I have the gold buried right below
beneath
this
this
tree.
So they tied... Yeah, they tied a ribbon to it, and then the guy left to go get his tools to excavate the site. But when he came back,
all the trees had ribbons.
All the trees had ribbons, and so like, cause the guy had specifically told the leprechaun, "Don't remove the ribbon," so he didn't remove the ribbon. He just added a bunch of others and then ran away.
It's like if you caught a leprechaun and you're like, I wanna be able to fly, and he's like, okay, you can fly now. You're like, hell yeah, and you jump off a building and you fall. And it pans to him holding 2 plane tickets to fly anywhere. They're real schnitsky with that.
Do you know where they got their gold? Because I know where they got their gold.
From making shoes.
No.
Oh.
No, because those little poor bastards.
Them some bitches.
So you got Irish people going off to war for whatever reasons. And they bury some gold in the ground.
Yeah.
And these little leprechauns, they pay attention, they watch it, and then once they're gone, they dig up the gold and take it for themselves.
Yeah.
And we're the ones who are greedy?
I mean, it's shocking, really.
The morals of the stories for all leprechaun encounters are that getting rich quick doesn't work in the long run, stealing is wrong, and don't mess with the Irish fairy folk.
Unless you're a leprechaun, then apparently you can steal from soldiers who just want to save a little money. Also, did you get the leprechaun cousin?
Which one?
The Cluricon.
Is that the one that's basically a leprechaun, but he's drunk?
Yeah, all he does is drink, yeah. And he haunts breweries, pubs, and wine cellars.
I mean, honestly, that sounds like a life. Ooh, hello there.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you just keep saying hello to your microphone because you keep bumping it?
I keep hitting it. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Look at this big robot arm that has like a grapefruit on it with a saucer with a little spinal column.
So, did you guys... is there anything else that you want to share about leprechauns specifically before... Because when we picked this topic... I was researching, and then I was kind of like, what the heck does leprechauns have to do with St. Patrick's Day at all? So I did a little research on that.
I didn't even look at that.
You didn't look
I was just like, man, I'm getting drunk today.
So I do want to...
Leprechauns are medieval little body water sprites that tried to steal a king.
Jasmine, please continue.
Do you want me to continue with that, or is there more you want to say?
St. Patrick's Day? I have nothing else.
I'll say one more thing.
Okay.
Portland is the only nation's the nation's only dedicated leprechaun colony. Apparently
the U.S., Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, apparently there's a small patch in the middle of a road in Portland, Oregon, that is dedicated to leprechauns for some reason because it's Portland, Oregon.
Cool.
And they just got to be cooler than all of us.
Oh wait, I do have something a little bit more.
Go for it.
Leprechauns, they come from the other world.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to get there is through, they're like little portals, but they're like small little tunnels that you make out of stones. I forget exactly what they're called, but a lot of times people are buried there because they believe that if you're buried there, your soul gets to pass on through the portal into the other world.
Huh.
Interesting.
And that's where leprechauns come from.
Interesting. Jasmine, take it away.
So yeah, I was curious as to what the heck leprechauns have to do with St. Patrick's Day. I didn't even really know what St. Patrick's Day actually is. Like, we all know here in America, you wear green and you drink beer and, you know, you celebrate the Irish, but like, where did it come from? Turns out the event actually started as a religious holiday, but over time it became a celebration of Irish culture. So according to legend, and it's not even really legend.
Who's St. Patrick?
Well, that's the thing. St. Patrick, this was actually really interesting.
Yeah.
So I read 2 different sources for who St. Patrick actually was. I read a National Geographic Kids article. so like teaching kids who St. Patrick was. But then I also looked at Encyclopedia Britannica, and here's what I found. So National Geographic says that St. Patrick was just this guy who was born in Britain, and he was sent to work in Ireland at 16 years old. After he arrived, he became interested in Christianity and started teaching others about the religion. However, Encyclopedia Britannica states that he was actually kidnapped at the age of 16 and taken to Ireland as a slave.
Whoa, Shanghai.
And so he escaped to freedom and then returned years later to convert the Irish to Christianity. So I just thought it was really interesting how those 2 sources, like National Geographic Kids puts it really kindly, but
they're like, so this guy went over to Ireland to have some fun and had experiences, find himself, and it was great.
To play with some rocks.
Play with some shamrocks, maybe have a shamrock shake.
So
fantastic.
Yeah, speaking of shamrocks, what's the relevance with that too? So, you know, everyone's always excited.
3 clovers, right?
Yeah. Everyone's always like, oh, I found a 4-leaf clover, look, this, blah, blah, blah.
I actually did find one.
But it wasn't a 4-leaf clover that St. Patrick used. It was actually a 3-leaf clover, like a shamrock, because when he was teaching about Christianity, he used the 3 leaves of the plant to explain the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So that's where this kind of gets started from. Like, St. Patrick was a real person. He converted people to Christianity.
He drove the snakes out of Ireland.
That's false. He did not do that. That is a myth.
Oh, that was Sean Connery,
That's
don't
a
you
myth.
know?
He established monasteries, churches, and schools. And so St. Patrick's Day is celebrated on the day that he supposedly died, which is March 17th. So Ireland started celebrating this day with religious services and feasts. It was immigrants, particularly to the United States, who transformed this day into a largely secular holiday in celebration of just all things Irish.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I guess we're late.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could go. I'm sure you could go much deeper with that, but that's kind of like the brief overview of what St. Patrick's Day is, what it's actually supposed to be celebrating, and another fun fact, the color that people originally associated with St. Patrick was blue, so not green, because ancient Irish flags even sported the color. Green was introduced to St. Patrick's Day festivities in the 18th century when the shamrock, which we talked about, became the national symbol.
Because before that, the Irish didn't know what the color green was.
Yeah.
What?
I'm joking.
They're like, we got our blues and we got our yellows. What you want, mister?
Oh my goodness. So because of the shamrock's popularity and Ireland's landscape, the color green kind of just stuck with the holiday. It seemed relevant. But there's no real connection between St. Patrick and leprechauns.
You mean he didn't show up to Ireland, drive out those snakes, and say, "All right, you leprechaun bastards,
there were no snakes.
Give me your gold."
There were no snakes in Ireland.
What?
Like, this was debunked. This was one of the articles I read, but I didn't include it because
there's no snakes because he drove them all out.
No.
I don't know what's going on here.
Wait, are there for real no snakes in Ireland?
Well, in the region that he supposedly drove them out from, there weren't. It's a myth.
Is it?
It's a myth!
Is it still like that though?
I have no idea. I skimmed over that because I didn't really care about snakes. I wanted to know more about. I wanted to know more about leprechauns.
There we have it. Jasmine says she does not care about snakes.
But speaking of the color green, this I did find interesting. Some people think that wearing the color green will just bring good luck, and others wear it to honor their Irish ancestry. But like the shamrock, leprechauns are recognized around the world as symbols of Ireland, and the idea of wearing green on St. Patrick's Day emerged in the 20th century, and today all three symbols are inseparable, but apparently wearing green makes you invisible to leprechauns, which is
son of a bitch.
Which is good because apparently leprechauns like to pinch anyone they can see, which I think is contradicting.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about leprechauns is they're trying to like not let you see them so that you can't steal their gold, but then like they want to pinch people, so I don't really get that
it's just one day of the year.
I mean, maybe it's like, you know, you wake up sometimes and you're like, where did I get this bruise from? It's because the leprechaun pinched you.
Because you weren't wearing green.
But
Son of a gun.
people actually go on leprechaun hunts and try to like catch leprechauns on St. Patrick's Day.
Heck, you have more chance of catching a leprechaun than you do of winning the lottery.
Well, it's turned into, like, there's so many YouTube videos of, like, little kids with their families making these, like, leprechaun boxes and setting them up the night before St. Patrick's Day to try and catch them. Martha Stewart has 5 wonderful little clues and hints and ideas on how to catch leprechauns on her website. And I was like,
she's a convicted felon.
What even is happening?
You guys remember when Martha Stewart went to jail?
Yeah.
That was wild,
but, like,
man.
You can lure the leprechauns into your home with, like,
Lucky Charms?
rainbow cakes and homemade Lucky Surprise balls and just plain old traps. I know. It's good.
That's
weird.
That's what you call a grenade. A Lucky Surprise ball.
But
all right.
That's St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Does anyone want to say anything more before we get to are leprechauns real or not?
No.
They are.
Okay. So Alex says they're real, and you say.
I say I don't know.
And I say
that counts as a yes.
I'm going to Alabama.
Yeah.
So we're going to Crichton leprechaun.
We're time traveling to what? 19.
I think it's like
72.
It's like 2003, dude.
Close enough.
All right, so there is
yes.
a supposed sighting of a leprechaun in Alabama in a tree. Oh, it was 2006. The news report was uploaded to YouTube and it was even one of the first videos to ever go viral.
Hell yeah.
On YouTube. And I don't. I'll let you take it away because.
Oh man.
I have a feeling you're gonna describe it funny.
So basically, in Alabama, there was a leprechaun in a tree, and everyone, people tried to take a picture of it, and then word spread, and then just hundreds of people gather around this tree trying to find a leprechaun. And
well, apparently, if you point a light at it, it just disappears.
Yeah. And
transparent?
Yeah, everyone was wearing green.
And
apparently, it may or may not have been a crackhead.
Well,
Alex is now fully laid back.
Well, okay, so apparently, this news reporter Brian Johnson, he shows up to this place. He starts interviewing people. There's like a bunch of people at this tree, and they're like, "Did you see a leprechaun?" And this dude goes, "Everybody say "hey" if you seen a leprechaun," and they all go "hey." And then
crowds are coming by the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of Mobile say a leprechaun is taking up residence in their neighborhood. A leprechaun.
The news reporters are like laughing.
Yeah, because there's this really poorly drawn sketch of a leprechaun.
Oh, no.
I'll put that on the Instagram.
Yeah, we're gonna throw that. That's gonna be our new logo.
Fun fact about that sketch: it was actually auctioned off for $1,100 on eBay.
Yeah, man. Back when eBay was just like the wacky concept that it was.
I know.
Man, 2006 was a simpler time.
One dude said that he had a leprechaun flute from thousands of years ago. He said that he was part Irish as well. And he actually became known as Flute Man because he didn't give a name. And so everyone just called him Flute Man.
Flute Man.
One lady, they asked a lady, they're like, what's your take on the leprechaun? She said, could have been a crackhead. It just...
What's her full saying?
I don't know.
It's
What Brian
funny.
Johnson had said though was that it just, as soon as he got there, as soon as the camera showed up, everyone just kind of piled in and just started adding stuff to the story.
Oh, a crackhead who got a hold of the wrong stuff and was told to play a leprechaun. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's that. I found little sightings here and there from like Reddit.
Yeah.
But that was like the only big one that I found.
Yeah,
that's just pure insanity.
We were like, all right, we're gonna do leprechauns for St. Patty's Day. It's gonna be awesome. I was like, all right. I did a little bit of research, typed in leprechaun sighting, and this is what came up. And it's just incredible. Like, it's a community banding together.
Right, and this leprechaun flute just looks like a metal pipe with some holes in it.
Yeah, and the guy doesn't let anyone really see it. Oh, man. You know what? We should like include the link.
I'll put it all on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll throw it on the Facebook too for good measure. Shout out to the Facebook peoples.
Well, did you guys know that leprechauns are actually protected under a European directive?
Are they for reals?
Yeah. They're an endangered species.
2011, a directive was part of an effort to preserve the rich biodiversity of the area called, I'm going to totally botch this pronunciation. You should know this by now. I just can't say other languages. It's called the Sliab Foiloop. I know I said that wrong. It's spelled Sliabh Foy Loop. It's a protected area for flowers, animals, and leprechauns. A local man named Kevin Woods, who's one of the original members of the group, explained that there are only 236 leprechauns living in Ireland.
Where did he get that number?
Yeah, I mean,
on the Foy Mountain at Slate Rock, he believes that this place is of the spirit world.
Foy Mountain?
Yeah, that's a thing.
If you were able to capture all those leprechauns, and if they gave you 3 wishes, that'd be 708 wishes. That's a lot of wishes, man. Take it away, Jasmine.
Well, that's all I really have to say about that. But there's a story from 1989 with P.J. O'Hare. Did you guys read about him? And the naked leprechaun?
No.
What?
What? What the hell?
So, local businessman P.J. O'Hare, he was up on Carlingford Mountain when he heard a scream coming from the area beside the wishing well. So he went to investigate, and he found, none of this makes any sense, but he found a patch of burnt ground, and beside that patch was like a little hat, a jacket, and trousers with 4 gold coins in the pockets. No one knows where the 4 coins went, except for one other person, but he maintains that he can't give away the secret. But the clothes of this leprechaun are on display at PJ's Pub in Carlingford. The discovery of this suit led to the establishment of the Carlingford National Leprechaun Hunt, where hundreds of people descend on Carlingford in search of the naked leprechaun. Because, they took his clothes. So
well, you know what's crazy?
What?
Is, so I did actually hear about that story about the P.J. O'Hare finding the clothes. But it also says he found bony remains.
I didn't get that part.
Whoa.
And apparently they're on display as well. So it might be a naked leprechaun minus a few bones. So it might be all jiggly.
But there's a museum in Dublin too that provides tours and detailed information on leprechauns and Irish folklore. So that's a fun thing.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you say something about coins disappearing?
4 coins?
Yeah, the 4 coins that were in the jacket pocket of the clothes that were found. No one knows where they are anymore.
They were doubloons.
Do you know where the coins are, Eli?
Do you know,
No,
Eli?
I just
Have you seen
one guy claims
leprechaun?
there's one guy who claims he knows where they are, but he can't tell anyone.
Oh.
Secrets.
Because the leprechauns are going to beat him up. Let's see. Apparently leprechauns that we know are based on racist stereotypes from the turn of the century of the Irish.
Probably.
So I feel personally attacked.
Why?
Because I'm Irish.
Are you really?
Yeah, my nana's
Well,
from Ireland.
Oh,
your wife.
Go back to Ireland.
What the hell?
Your wife says that she saw a leprechaun. Was that story included on the episode that we posted of ghost stories?
Nay way.
I don't think so.
No? Okay, so...
We're going to have to get my wife back on the podcast, and she can tell some more stories.
Well, I remember she said that basically she was just a kid, and it was St. Patrick's Day, and she really wanted to see a leprechaun. What did she say? She was at McDonald's?
Yeah.
She was at McDonald's, and she just, like, put out into the universe that she really wanted to see a leprechaun. And apparently a leprechaun, like... popped its head up in the play place of McDonald's, smiled at her, and then went away.
Yeah. We'll have to get her back on the podcast. Maybe we'll do Ghost Stories Part 2. This time with even more ghost and a leprechaun, too.
A ghost and a leprechaun.
But yeah, I found a Reddit story about a guy who was hanging out in his bedroom with his lady friend. They were fooling around, and he looked over, and just a tiny head popped out from behind his dresser, and it was a old-looking face with a red beard that gave him a sinister smile.
Yeah,
that's not creepy.
I got one. It was two brothers who said that they don't like to tell this story because they get mocked by their family because nobody believes them. But they put it on Reddit, and they said that when they shared a room back in the day when they were growing up, and that one day his brother like sat up in his bed and was staring at this open window. The door was open, right? The door for the bedroom, and just sat up and started looking at it, and he was curious, so he looked up, and he said he saw a tiny man with a red facial hair, green clothes, about 2 feet tall, but a really wrinkled face.
Yeah.
And he was just standing there staring at them with a sinister smile, almost like he was getting pleasure from scaring them. And then he just disappeared.
Oh, and I have a Reddit story of a guy who said he hit one with a car.
I think I know. Continue. Okay.
Yeah, so the guy was driving. I don't remember where he said he was, but he's driving at night, and all of a sudden, like a 2 foot tall man in rags with a red beard and a wrinkly face ran out across the street, and he hit him, and he flew into the air. And he got out of the car to check on the guy, and the guy let out like a crazy scream and a laugh and ran back into the forest. And he chased after the guy like, dude, are you okay? I don't have insurance. I can pay you off.
That's funny.
But he never saw them again. But yeah, so I guess people be running over leprechauns. And people will be seeing them in their bedrooms.
Yeah,
and
at
sometimes
McDonald's.
they're McDonald's. Sometimes they be crackheads. Oh, and also for all the info about the Crichton Leprechaun, I suggest you go to wheretogoldat.com.
Wheretogoldat.com.
The internet's #1 research for information on the Mobile Avenue leprechaun sighting. They even sell T-shirts with the picture on it.
Do they really?
Of the sketch.
Oh my goodness, dude! Really?
Yeah.
That's what the sketch is?
Yeah, that's
it's only $19.95. What a deal.
That's absolutely horrendous.
The original got auctioned off for $1,100.
That's horrendous.
Oh.
I am ashamed.
We should email them. Hey, everybody, if you've seen a leprechaun, you should email info@wheretogoldat.com.
Email us, so then we can cover it.
Email us. You know what? Maybe we should email them, and then maybe they can sponsor us.
I don't know if we're ever going to get any sponsors.
If you want to sponsor us at Cryptid Campfire, give us our money at PayPal.
What? What statement did you... Alex is
He
drunk.
was like, give us our money.
Give us our money.
Give me my paycheck.
Give me my paycheck, you
Where the
bum.
money at?
Where the gold at? Hey, if you see a leprechaun, say, hey.
Hey.
I think we're winding down.
I think we've reached
the end of this episode, everybody. We want to thank you for coming on this wild ride.
Hopefully you learn. That's my foot. Stop playing footsie with me.
Gosh darn. Eli, you're acting the fool right now.
Thanks for sticking with us through this interesting experiment of intoxicated.
This was
research.
A fun kind of special episode.
Hopefully you learned a little bit. I tried my best to actually learn a little bit about St. Patrick's Day, so I'm a little happy. Proud of myself with that.
Yeah,
so.
You got some cool info about the history of St. Patrick's Day. It's more than just Shamrock Shakes and snakes being driven out.
False.
I found so much about spears and magical weapons that apparently were brought to Britain in the old times that I'm definitely going to incorporate into something. Anytime I look up something about fairies, it's just insanity. And it just keeps getting better. So
there's a lot of
fairies
info.
are dope.
Yeah. Why don't you guys do the Twitter handles first? And then I'll join in.
Well, you can find myself on Twitter, at EJ Workshop. I almost said EJWorkshop.com.
You wish.
Yeah. And if I want to find you, Jasmine,
you can follow me on both Twitter and Instagram at Jasmine Maywith. That's JasmineMaewith.
And I can send you spider photographs there.
No. I don't want pictures of spiders. Okay. No.
Has someone been sending you spiders?
Yeah, Eli.
Oh.
If I want to find you, Axelrod.
You can find me at axelrod.com. No. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me at AlexDaikaiju. That's DAIKAIJU. I'm also on Instagram. You can go ahead and tweet and follow. If you found this episode entertaining, please let me know. If you found it a waste of time, do not let me know. I got feedback from some random person that Eli met that they thought I was funny. So...
Okay, wait, what? All right. I thank you, everybody, for listening. I think just tune in next week. We're going to talk about Goatman.
Yeah.
It's going to be outrageous fun.
It's going to be deep fried fun.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Whoop, whoop.